Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our City of Port St. Lucie City Council meeting this Monday, April 27th, 2026 at 6 o'clock p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Morgan?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Pickett?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Martin?
Here, ma'am.
Councilman Vana?
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Caraballo?
Here, ma'am. Please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Almighty God in heaven, we ask thy blessings upon those gathered here this evening and upon all of the citizens of Port St. Lucie. Look with favor on our leaders and give them the insights, the wisdom, and the patience to deal with the problems and tasks coming before them. Please bless their work and their deliberations. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're on to public to be heard. This is your opportunity to speak to the council for up to 3 minutes on any non-agenda related items. I don't have anyone sign up to speak. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close public to be heard. Moving on to additions and deletions to the agenda and approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of consent agenda. Does any member of council have an item they'd like to remove for separate discussion?
I do, Mayor.
Yes?
I would like 7D
Okay.
removed.
All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve consent agenda with item 7D removed for separate discussion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 7D.
So everybody's aware, when I see projects coming in, I always want to know where's the school bus stop going to be? And I just want to make sure that there's enough room for a turnaround for a school bus and that the school bus stop will be within this development. Because if it's out on Kashmir with the way the traffic is there, it will back up into the roundabout and who knows how far the other side. And I think it would be a safety issue if they were crossing over the road there.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, we can, I think Cole looked into it a little while ago. The bus can make a turnaround, but we may want to just make it part of the condition that we would like to see a bus stop in the location if possible. Cole, you have anything to add?
Good evening, City Council, City Manager. That is correct. Right before this, I was able to pull up the auto turn exhibit showing that a school bus will be able to navigate the circular entrance to their driveway. So condition of approval, I think, could be a good idea. And then we can also coordinate with the school board to let them know this will accommodate a school bus and please schedule your pickups off of the road.
Okay. Thank you. All right, then is there a motion?
So a motion to approve item 7D, which is P25-066, with the condition that the school bus stop will be on site.
Second.
And also,
Sorry.
also contact the school district regarding the bus stop to be within the development, not on Kashmir.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Is there a motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yep. 8A, ordinance 26-28.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $75 million in aggregate principal amount of City of Port St. Lucie, Florida special obligation refunding revenue bonds, Series 2026, to refund a portion of the city's outstanding special assessment refunding bonds, Series 2016, Southwest Annexation Special Assessment District Number 1, and a portion of the city's outstanding taxable special obligation refunding revenue bonds, Series 2017, in order to achieve debt service savings and to provide funding for the Torino Regional Park project, providing for a covenant to budget and appropriate legally available non-ad valorem revenues to pay the principal of redemption premium, if any, and interest on the bonds, providing for certain rights of the holders of such bonds, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8B, ordinance 26-30.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting lots 19, 20, 21, and 22, Block 1463, Port St. Lucie, Section 15, as recorded in Plat Book 13, pages 6, 6A through 6E of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8C, ordinance 26-31.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the city manager to enter into a third amendment to the site lease agreement between the City of Port St. Lucie and Crown Castle South LLC for continued use of an existing telecommunication tower located at 480-TW Southwest Thornhill Drive, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-31.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8D, ordinance 26-32.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the mayor or her designee or the city manager or his designee to enter into and execute the First Amendment to the lease agreement for a portion of real property located at 2454 Southeast Westmoreland Boulevard, the Port District Riverfront Park, with P3 Investments LLC, a Florida limited liability company, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-32.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8E, ordinance 26-33.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 6, Block 2878, Port St. Lucie, Section 40, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 15, pages 34, 34A through 34Y of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-33?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8F, ordinance 26-34.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 22, Block 2036, Port St. Lucie, Section 22, according to the plat thereof, recorded in Plat Book 13, pages 28, 28A through 28G of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-34.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8G, ordinance 26-35.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a portion of a 20-foot wide rear utility and drainage easement affecting Lot 3, Block 1828, Port St. Lucie, Section 35, according to the plat thereof, recorded in Plat Book 15, pages 10, 10A through 10P of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-35.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to first reading of ordinances, 10A, ordinance 25-83.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, amending Title 7, Traffic Code, Chapter 72, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Article 1, General Provisions, and Article 2, Administration and Enforcement, by amending Section 7201, Parking Prohibitions, amending Section 7203, Parking of Commercial Vehicles in Residential Zones, amending Section 72.10, Utility Trailers in Residential Zones, and by amending Section 7299, Penalty, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Good evening, Wes.
Good evening. The following revision may look familiar. This came to a first reading in December 8th. Based on that meeting, staff did get together. We reviewed a section of of Chapter 72 pertaining to emergency vehicles as well as driveway design. So the next agenda item under 10D will pertain to driveway design. This section of code just pertains to the city's ability to enforce parking violations. So everything here would be encompassed under a parking ticket or a potential special magistrate process. So I have outlined in red the change in this section. Everything else is the exact same as the December 8th meeting. So the following, and for the record, Wesley Armstrong, Deputy Director of Neighborhood Services. Sorry.
It's okay.
So these ordinance revisions are under Strategic Plan Goal 1 for Safe, Clean, and Beautiful. In terms of residential parking, all of this pertains to private property, which is the property line to the front of the home, everything there. So section 7201H, our recommendation is to define the improved surfaces which would allow a vehicle to park in the front of a home. And we want to match that to the upcoming ordinance revision to what you can construct a driveway out of. It would be impervious, semi-impervious material, asphalt, concrete, stone pavers, rock pavers, along with semi-impervious for crushed stone or crushed rock, as long as there's a clearly defined border. And again, the driveway construction will come in the next agenda item. So for this specifically, this is just where we can ticket a vehicle parked on private property in front of a house. And it would be those specific areas. If you're parked in the grass or if you're parked in the dirt, you would receive that ticket. We do not recommend any changes to any other section of 7201, which pertain to swale parking. You are still allowed to park in the grass in the swale as long as you follow that code, which would be 12 inches from the roadway with the flow of traffic, as long as you're not parked there for more than 36 hours.
And permission from the owner, correct?
And permission from the property owner, correct.
Thank you.
The next section we recommend our changes are under 7203, pertaining to commercial vehicles parked in a residential area. We would like to amend the prohibition and include box trucks. We currently have a gap in our code where a four-wheeled box truck would technically be allowed per our code, so we would like to prohibit those vehicles. However, we do, under the exception, want to add a standard dually truck with a standard truck bed. So an F-350 with 6 wheels, per our current code now, is technically a violation. We want to make that allowable to be parked in a residential area. We do recommend removing the 6-wheeled exemption process. It's outdated. We haven't used it for the better part of a decade. And then the only change to the entirety of this section from the last hearing we had on December 8th would be to expand the commercial vehicle exemptions to allow for any vehicle in service supporting first responders or any personnel on call to be allowed, as long as they're performing an essential government function. This does bring us in line with other municipalities who have similar ordinance in effect, and it just allows a service vehicle who's there to assist a first responder or a government organization to park a commercial vehicle at a residentially zoned property, as long as it's parked in the driveway. So right here would be a picture on the left. You would see multiple vehicles parked. Our current code is, there's a gap in that code which would allow parking in some grass areas in the front of the property. So we just want to make sure it's in a clearly defined parking area and define what those are and what materials. And then you see here on the right, that four-wheeled box truck is technically allowed per our current code, and that six-wheeled dually would be a violation. So we want to reverse those. Make it so that four-wheeled box truck is not permitted to be parked in a residential area, and that six-wheeled vehicle would be exempt from our parking code and be allowed to be parked in front of a house.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
And just to clarify, obviously, if you have a U-Haul, if someone's moving or moving in or moving out, or let's say they're using a storage unit and they're using a box truck to transport and they park it overnight in the front of their home, would that be an issue?
No, our staff wouldn't, and we would, in all of these instances prior to the issuance of any tickets, our staff would always make contact. If they say, hey, I'm here for a few days, we'll be back, we'll give them time to correct the issue and then let us know once it's corrected and then verify that.
Appreciate that.
The next section, we're requesting a change would be under the utility trailer under 7210. So for open and enclosed utility trailers, we would like to match the parking prohibitions that have already been approved in first reading under Chapter 41 and 73 for both motor vehicles and recreational vehicles. And that would prohibit parking in the backyard unless there was a 6-foot privacy fence. So you could park a vehicle in the backyard as long as there's a privacy fence. And then we would like to remove, for an enclosed utility trailer, the section of our code that prohibits commercial lettering. It does violate Reed Gilbert, so we want to make sure that's out of our code. And then for open utility trailers, we want to actually increase the size of them. Currently, it's 32 square feet, so a 4x8, relatively small trailer. We want to match for the length requirement for an enclosed utility trailer, which is 20 feet. So it actually increases the size of an open utility trailer allowed to be parked at a property.
Madam Mayor, I just want to say this is a big improvement in the sense of the removal of commercial lettering language, because it always felt somewhat unfair that you'd have the exact same size trailer. One just had, an advertisement for maybe it's a food truck that goes out on the weekends versus something that was completely blank, same size, just the actual lettering. So I'm glad that that's being corrected.
And you see right here, so on the left, again, there's multiple trailers parked at the property. You wouldn't be able to park them in the grass. That's per our current code within the front of the property. They can still park on the side and the rear in the grass, but it would have to be behind a 6-foot privacy fence if you're parking in the rear. The side would still be allowed to be parked like normal. And then you see there the commercial lettering. That is a technical violation of our code right now. We want to allow that.
Yes.
Why is it that we allow people to park trailers on the side of their house and not utility trailers?
I'm sorry?
Why can't you park a utility trailer on the side of your house? It's got to be behind a fence, but you can park a regular trailer, camper, so on and so forth, on the side of your house and not have to have it behind a fence.
You would be able to park both. So utility trailers and open enclosed utility trailer, as well as boats, RVs, recreational vehicles, would be able to be parked not behind a fence. It's only when you pass that rear threshold of the home that it would be required to be behind a fence.
Okay.
And the same thing with the motor vehicle as well. A motor vehicle can park on the side of the house, not behind a fence. That would be permitted per our current code. And we're not recommending any of those changes. And then last here would be the penalties section, which would be to bring us in line with most municipalities throughout the state. It would be actually on the lower end of those municipalities, but to increase all parking fines to $50. And then to increase the commercial parking fines to $200 for the first offense, $300 for the second, and $400 for third and subsequent offenses. And also add language for all violations under this section to be brought before the special magistrate through that process. So another avenue for enforcement if we can't make contact and have someone correct the violation. If these changes go through, we will host public information meetings, create flyers and handouts. We will have a 6-month educational outreach plan that we would not do enforcement for those 6 months. We would go out there, educate the public, and then coordinate with communications on other forms of public outreach to get this information out. And any questions regarding the recommended changes?
Thank you. Any other questions? No? All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 25-83.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to skip and go right to 10D since these two items go hand in hand.
That makes sense.
Madam Clerk, please read 10D, ordinance 26-38.
An ordinance amending Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 153 Definitions, and Chapter 158 Zoning Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Port St. Lucie by amending Sections 153.01, 158.222, and 158.217 to update driveway standards by adding new definitions, setbacks, and landscape area requirements, and by establishing typical lot scenario figures, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I may, before they start, when we were working with the team on the previous item you just heard, we also collaborated with Public Works, who permits driveways, and we looked at this section, which is actually in the zoning code. And we realized that we needed to make things clearer. The code was written quite a while ago. We wanted to clear it up for consistency with public practice. So while these setbacks and exhibits are just being put in the zoning code, these aren't new setbacks. This is what the team is already doing. We're just trying to document it in a clearer way for our customers and to also make sure that when code goes out to enforce, that it's clear what they're enforcing for the public, for everybody. So we really see this as like a supportive document and housekeeping.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
Okay. Good evening, Bridget
Good evening.
Keene with the Planning and Zoning Department. I'm in for Bethany Grubbs. This is a zoning text amendment. It's project P26020, and it is a text amendment to the driveways as well as definitions, as well as accessory uses. And just for the record, there is a Scrivener's error in one of the submittals we had, section 158.222B under design. It's driveway widths. We just have to make a change to one of the tables, and we'll have that before the second reading. Okay. And Wes is here to help me in case because I did not work on this, Bethany did. But so anyway, this is a city-initiated text amendment, and it's to update and clarify driveway standards by removing the term circular driveway, adding new driveway-related definitions, and establishing setback, separation, and landscape area requirements. And this text amendment is consistent with the previous submittal from the NSD for the amendment to section 72.01 parking prohibitions. It establishes minimum separation between a primary and a secondary driveway, connector segment, and turnaround. It also provides for turnaround setbacks, landscape for pervious area requirements, and it updates definitions aligned with the proposed standards. Adds a typical lot scenario, figures to provide visual guidance on how the standards apply to different residential lots and layouts. Okay. Now, it does provide new definitions, and one of those definitions is driveway connector segment. And really, the intent here is just to get rid of the circular driveway and kind of explain it in a different format. And one of those formats is to now call that segment between the your entrance and your exit, the driveway connector segment. And it's a segment of a driveway configuration that provides the internal connection between the primary driveway and a secondary driveway. The connector segment enables a continuous travel path within the site, including straight, angled, or curved connections. So a driveway entrance for a single-family residence is a paved access area that provides vehicular ingress or egress between a public or private right-of-way and the abutting property. The driveway entrance begins at the end of pavement within the roadway and extends inward to the property line and must be a paved surface constructed in accordance with the applicable city engineering standards for land development. Okay. A driveway primary is for a single family is the main access segment of a driveway configuration, and again, that extends from the public or private right-of-way into the abutting property and leading to a designated parking area or garage face. To the driveway secondary is the auxiliary segment to a primary driveway, and that's intended to complete a loop or connection or a secondary ingress-egress. And the garage face is now going to be identified as the vertical plane created by the exterior wall of a garage or carport containing the primary vehicular access door. This includes the original garage door on enclosed garages or the open-facing structural wall of a carport. The garage face represents the point at which the driveway terminates and serves as the functional end of vehicular accessway to the structure. Paved surface is a ground covered with concrete, asphalt, brick pavers, stamped concrete, or paving block and is constructed in accordance with the city's engineering standards for land development. A driveway surface for a commercial is all driveways, that this is already existing in code, just add some additional language. All driveways shall be a paved surface with concrete, asphalt, paver blocks, or comparable hard surfacing, and shall be in accordance with the city's engineering design standards. Single-family residential driveway surface is a primary and secondary driveway entrance as defined in section 153.01 and shall be constructed with a paved surface. Primary and secondary driveway entrance as defined in section 153.01 shall be constructed with a paved surface. And the primary and secondary driveways as defined in the code may be, or in the new additions to the code, may be constructed using pervious or semi-impervious surface materials when designed as a clearly delineated and properly graded natural surface covered with rolling stone or loose gravel. All such materials must be fully contained by edging, borders, or other acceptable methods to prevent erosion and maintain the defined limits of the driveway. Secondary driveways on corner lots may consist of unimproved surfaces, such as sod. And this just provides the changes to the minimum and maximum driveway widths. And it just changes the single family. The secondary is going to be 18 feet. The existing single family driveways right now by code are a minimum of 10, a maximum of 32. That secondary driveway will now be a minimum of 10 with a maximum of 18 feet. And there shall be a minimum separation between the primary and the secondary driveway as 18 feet. And the connector segment setback from the property line shall be 5 feet, and the connector segment or turnaround setback distance from the primary residence is 10 feet. And these are intended to provide room for landscaping so that you don't have just an entirely paved front lawn or front area of a house. Okay. And I said that correctly, right? Okay. And these are just the images that show you what is meant by a turnaround. This would be your primary entrance driveway, and this would be the turnaround. Again, you have your 10-foot landscaping here, and now we have a requirement for 5-foot landscaping there. And this would be for a primary driveway with a secondary driveway, and again, an 18-foot distance in between them. And this is more, again, the same thing, but again shows that you're now required to provide that 10-foot landscape area, so it really is intended to try to prevent driveways, just basically paved areas, just taking away the whole area of the front of a house. Again, a similar issue, a picture showing the primary driveway. And proposed amendment, the changes to the accessory uses is to allow, uses are allowed in the RE, RS1, and RS3 single-family residential zoning districts. All other accessory uses are currently prohibited, with the exception of provisions for amateur radio antennas. So that's existing text, but basically what this section does, it removes the ability to have a wood driveway. So now you can only have the concrete and stone driveways, patios, decks, and walks that may be located in that area extending from the front corners of the principal structure, provided those structures do not extend any closer than 6 feet to any side lot line or 10 feet to any rear lot line. And really, it's intended to get rid of wood driveways, or the ability to use wood for a driveway. And basically, the analysis here is the current code allows circular driveways without impervious surface limits, resulting in overly paved front yards. 2021 turnaround requirements increased paved areas on some residential lots. Lack of spacing, setback, and layout standards has led to inconsistent driveway designs and expanded hard surface areas. And staff does recommend replacing circular driveway with primary, secondary driveway terms and adding clear setback standards, and proposed changes add separation and setback requirements to preserve landscape areas and prevent excessive paved front yards. And as Mary mentioned, or the director mentioned, this was done in cooperation or in consultation with the Public Works Department based on how because they're the ones who issued the driveway permit, so we tried to use the similar terms that they use. And the Planning and Zoning Board did recommend approval at the April 7th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. And staff is here from Neighborhood Services as well as Public Works if you have any questions, and planning.
Great. Thank you so much for the presentation. Council, are there any questions?
I just have one quick question. So on figure 4 with the corner lot for the secondary driveway, I'm assuming that Public Works will go out to verify that there's not a blind spot there. That's my only concern is, I don't have an issue with the secondary driveway in the back, but because it's right there on the corner, like it could be in a corner lot, and I've seen sometimes corner lots, depending on how they're laid out in the city, because they weren't laid out perfectly, unfortunately. I've seen some pretty bad blind spots, and so I don't want anybody to get smacked.
Yes, that is part of our approval process. We'll use all the different mapping means that we do have, as well as visual inspections to ensure line of sight is maintained.
And are you able to, like, for example, if, like, let's say there's a large tree in the corner that, I don't want them, obviously, I wish they wouldn't get rid of a tree, but if you have a situation where you have some form of landscaping that's blocking that exit, will you be able to tell them they'd have to either move the tree to get it approved, or does it get into, like, crazy territory at that point?
Yes, we can do that. We have not had to in the past that I can recall right now. And then it would also depend on what tree is causing it and if it's on the private property or is it within the road right away in the swale area.
Perfect.
If it's within the swale area, we obviously have a little bit more leverage on what we can do there.
Perfect. I just want to make sure, just because that's the one that I see as a potential issue if someone puts it too close to the edge of the front there.
No problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone from the public like to address the council on this item? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And Mayor, just to clarify, there were no changes to the swale, parking in the swale was not even anything that we were voting on this evening.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go back to 10B, ordinance 26-36.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, abandoning a 20-foot wide wide drainage and utility easement lying in Track M, Port St. Lucie, Section 33, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 15, page 1 of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-36.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 10C is ordinance 26-37. This item is quasi judicial. So anyone who's going to provide testimony on this item needs to get sworn in by our clerk. So please stand and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Thank you. Please read the ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, providing for the First Amendment to the Master Planned Unit Development Regulation Book and Concept Plan for designation at Tradition MPUD, located west of Interstate 95, east of Southwest Village Parkway, and between Destination Way and Marshall Parkway, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, council. Are there any ex parte communications to disclose? No?
No.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Good evening again, Bridget Keene with the Planning and Zoning Department. This is the First Amendment to the Destination at Tradition MPUD. This amendment is, the Destination at Tradition MPUD, it is located in Southern Grove, and it is one of the MPUDs in the city's jobs corridor. Okay, the Port St. Lucie Governmental Finance Corporation and Mattamy Palm Beach LLC are the property owners, as well as the applicant is Brad Curry of Haley Ward, and the subject property, it is generally located, it's west of Interstate 95, east of Village Parkway, and it's basically between the future Southwest Destination Way and north of Marshall Parkway. Okay. And this is a map that shows you the location. Destination is the one that's in the kind of pink color. Okay, there's an aerial. And again, this future land use map, it has the NCD land use. And just a little bit of background, the Destination at Tradition MPUD, it's approximately 217 acres, and it was approved in October of 2024. It is approved for industrial uses, office uses, commercial uses, as well as hotel and multifamily development. And the MPUD, it's divided into 2 development areas with approximately 31 acres designated as a business park and 80 acres designated as mixed commercial, and the remainder is drainage, roadways, et cetera. Okay, so this application, as I mentioned, it's the first amendment. It adds 2 new uses to the mixed commercial area. Those uses are a post-acute medical facility as well as a veterinary hospital or a clinic. It also updates the amount of non-residential development allowed in the MPUD by adding 54 hospital beds to the MPUD for the post-acute care facility, an additional 30,000 square feet of office, and that's to accommodate the veterinary hospital or clinic as well as future office development. And it also adds parking requirements for a post-acute medical facility and veterinary hospital or clinic, and some other uses. The amendment also revises the minimum lot size and maximum and minimum width for parcels within the business park area, and it updates the legal description and other minor changes. The MPUD does identify a post-acute medical facility as a physical hospital or a healthcare center that provides rehabilitative and/or specialized healthcare services to patients recovering from a serious illness, injury, surgery, complex medical condition, or acute care hospital stay. We have received a site plan application for a post-acute medical facility, and that is proposed on 7.86 acres of property. That's located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Southwest Village Parkway and Destination Way. It is the Catalyst site plan. And I just want to clarify for the record, there are existing hospital beds in the Southern Grove DRI. Those hospital beds are deed restricted to Tradition Medical Center. So this application did not take away from any of those entitlements. Instead, the GFC utilized the conversion matrix, and it converted 208,286 square feet of R&D entitlements, and it added 54 additional hospital beds to the DRI for this project. And this just shows you the future location of the proposed medical facility. And the subject property, it is located, as I mentioned, within the Southern Grove DRI. It is within a designated regional business center, as depicted on Map A to the DRI and Figure 1-4, of the future land use element. And per policy 1.2.2.8 of the comprehensive plan, a regional business center is a development with more than 1 million non-residential square feet, and it can include industrial uses, warehouse distribution, manufacturing, retail, commercial, and office uses, as well as medical uses, restaurants, theaters, hotels, institutional uses, etc. Staff's findings that the proposed amendment adds additional medical and office uses to the Destination at Tradition MPUD, as I mentioned, for a post-acute care facility and veterinary clinic, and these changes are consistent with the allowed uses under a regional business center sub-district, and these uses are designed to meet the needs of the larger area. And the Planning and Zoning Department does find the request to be consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. The department does recommend approval, and the Planning and Zoning Board did recommend approval of the proposed MPUD amendment at the April 7th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. That concludes my presentation, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Keen. Any questions? No?
No? Okay.
All right. Mr. Curry, would you like to make a presentation? No, you're good. Okay. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone from the public like to address the council? Did you have something else?
I just forgot to mention that I was sworn in, and the file was sent over to the clerk's office 5 days before the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Since no one's coming forward, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 2637.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I'm going on to 10E, ordinance 26-39.
An ordinance of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan of the City of Port St. Lucie to provide a small-scale amendment to the future land use map to change the future land use designation for approximately 19.7 acres from residential golf course to commercial general for a parcel of land legally described as a portion of Section 6, Township 37 South, Range 39 East, and a portion of Section 31, Township 36 South, Range 30 East, generally located at the northeast corner of Crosstown Parkway and Range Line Road. Lots 1 to 5 of Verano, commercial parcel plat number 1, as recorded in Plat Book 138, page 38 of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, and providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you.
Again, Bridget Keene for Bethany Grubbs.
You've got everything tonight.
I know. So this, as mentioned, this is a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, and it's to Verano South, Pod H. It's a request for a small-scale land use amendment, and it's to change the future land use from residential golf course to commercial general for 19.7 acres in the Verano PUD H development. The applicant is Coulter and Hearing, and the property owner is PSL Land Investments LLC. And the properties are generally located southeast of Glades Cutoff Road, they're east of Range Line Road, and north of Crosstown Parkway. Okay, and the surrounding uses, to the north is RGC, its own PUD, it's a residential subdivision. To the south is NCD, it's a MPUD that, excuse me, residential development that is the Western Grove DRI. East is RGC, PUD, and again, that is in the Verano DRI, and it's a POA common area tracts. And to the west is industrial, and its future land use is industrial, and it has a IH, must be St. Lucie County, sorry, and it is a public school. Okay. Right, that's the high school, correct.
Legacy.
Okay. And that was just a map. Sorry, let me go back. I'm going the wrong way. Sorry about that. This is just a map of shows you the locations, the CG, and then the CG over here are the two areas proposed to be changed. PGA Village Verano development of the DRI was originally approved on October 27, 2003, and it established the Verano DRI and designated areas for RGC land use, along with a section of CG land use. The DRI has been amended multiple times, and Resolution 21-R01 is the current regulating document. Now, Site 1 is approximately 9.7 acres. It's comprised of 5 parcels, and those are located at the corner of Crosstown Parkway and Sundance Vista Boulevard. Site 2 is approximately 10 acres, and it's located at the corner of Crosstown Parkway and Range Line Road. And the purpose of this request is to allow for more intensive commercial uses consistent with the CG designation. It is important to point out that the RGC land use does allow for some commercial. It just doesn't allow the same type of more intense commercial that would be allowed under CG zoning or CG land use. So goal 1.1 of the future land use element states that the city shall provide an appropriate mix of land uses which meet the needs of current and future residents of the city in a way which is environmentally acceptable and develop concurrent with needed facilities and services. And policy 1.1.73 encourages commercial and mixed-use nodes at or near arterial intersections and utilize urban design standards and techniques to beautify and enhance the community along major corridors. And this proposed amendment is not expected to decrease demand for potable water or wastewater services based on the maximum development potential already allowed under the comprehensive plan. The proposed future land use amendment is expected to result in a decrease in average daily trips and PM peak hour trips based on the existing RGC designation, compared to the trips on the ITE trip generation rates for a shopping center. The subject properties are located in a Zone X, and that's the area of minimal flooding. And Section 6B of Resolution 12 R102 documents that Verano has exceeded the 25% upland preservation requirement, and the Verano Conservation Area Management Plan and conservation easements include 11.4 acres of surplus upland habitat. Additionally, 22.86 acres were deeded for conservation purposes, with upland portions counting towards the DRI preservation requirement. And so this is basically the traffic impact analysis. It shows the PM peak hour trips with the existing and proposed. The Planning and Zoning Department recommends approval. Actually, that should be the Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval of the proposed amendment at the April 7th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. And the Planning and Zoning Department does find the petition to be consistent with the intent and direction of the city's comprehensive plan and recommends approval. That completes staff's presentation. The applicant does have a presentation, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Keen?
Just a quick one. So they're not swapping the properties, they're adding more commercial, is that correct?
Yes, by changing the RGC to commercial to allow for more intensive commercial.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions of staff? All right. You said the applicant wanted to make a presentation. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Mayor, Council. Pete Hoffines for the record, Cutler and Herring Land Planning Landscape Architecture. Let's see. Yep, no problem. Again, Pete Hoffines for the record. Don't have much more to add. Thanks, staff, for their thorough presentation. Just want to show a map for context, because I have been up here before for the other amendments associated with Pod G, a little bit further east, switching the commercial land to the commercial land use. So just a little bit of context. There's the two sites, and then we were here last month for the Pod G, which is just over to the east there. Again, really just looking for a little bit more wider variety of the commercial uses that can fit into the commercial general land use, something like the pharmacy with a drive-through for CVS and things like that. So subsequent PUD amendments have been filed and are under review, and that will give us the rules and regulations to follow. Any other intense use would come before you as a special exception use as outlined in your land development code. So happy to answer any other questions. Don't want to take up too much more of your time tonight.
Great, thank you. Any questions? No? Think we're good?
Thank you.
Thank you. This item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Council?
Motion to approve ordinance 26-39.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to resolutions, 11A. Resolution 26-R30. This item is also quasi-judicial, so if anyone's going to provide testimony, please stand up and raise your right hand and get sworn in by the clerk.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Thank you. Council, any ex parte communications to disclose?
No.
No, I don't have any either. Okay. All right. Is there
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, granting a special exception use to allow an enclosed assembly area over 3,000 square feet without an alcoholic beverage license for on-premises consumption of alcoholic beverages in the Warehouse Industrial Zoning District per Section 158.135C6 of the Port St. Lucie Code of Ordinances for a project known as St. Lucie West Industrial Park Raw Athletics, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, City Council, staff. My name is Cody Sesk, and I'm with the Planning and Zoning Department. I've been sworn in an application, or the official file has been submitted at least 5 days before today's hearing. Madam Clerk, please enter that into the record. Today's application, as stated before, is St. Lucie West Industrial Park for Raw Athletics. It's a special exception use. The owner of the property is PSL LLC and Banyan PSL LLC. The applicant is with Haley Ward. Brad Curry is associated with this. This is located at the northwest corner of Northwest Enterprise Drive, and the request is for a special exception use to allow an enclosed assembly area over 3,000 square foot that is within the warehouse industrial district. In yellow is the subject parcel. To the north of this, above the open space conservation area, is single-family residential. To the south is warehouse, and to the east and to the west are both vacant. The future land use to the north and to the west are both open space conservation, and the future land uses to the south and east are light industrial, open space, recreational, and institutional. The zoning districts to the north is single-family residential. The zoning district to the south is warehouse industrial, to the east is industrial, and to the west is general use.
This is the old St. Lucie News Tribune building, correct?
Yes.
Grips.
So there are no proposed changes exterior. All the changes, or the only change, would be for interior for a change of use. They are proposing to have an enclosed assembly for a gym, which is in the pink area. It's kind of to the north. It's a total of 14,600 total square feet of recreation use. Through our evaluations of section 158.260, letters A through J, staff finds that the special exception use is compatible with the surrounding area and is meeting all the proposed criteria before you. The Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval at their April 7th, 2026 meeting with the following condition. This special exception use shall be granted exclusively to the current owners of the property, PSL LLC and Banyan PSL LLC collectively, and shall be valid solely as it relates to the current tenant of the property, Raw Sport Supplement Company LLC, and its subtenant, Raw Athletic Club LLC. The special exception use shall terminate automatically upon cessation of the approved business operation, namely use of the enclosed assembly space without an alcoholic beverage license for Raw Athletic Fitness Club, any renting or subletting of the property aside from the current tenancy arrangements described above, change in tenant, change in ownership of the property, or any of the above business entities, or discontinuation of the approved use shall render the special exception use null and void. That concludes my presentation, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Not from, no.
Okay, thanks very much. Is there a presentation? No?
I have a question.
Okay.
I want to find out more for Brad. So hasn't it been operating as Raw already? So is it just a manufacturing before they didn't have the rec piece in? Just out of curiosity.
Good evening. For the record, Brett Kerr with Haley Ward. Staff did an excellent job presenting. I think sometimes property owners and my clients get things a little mixed up and they do things before they maybe should have. So we are cleaning this up and bringing it into compliance. So
Okay, because I was
you
just.
are correct.
And I wasn't
There's a
doing it to
gentleman
smack them down or anything. I know that this establishment is, it's one of those new gym styles that's coming out that's very popular, and I know
Great
people like
facility.
it.
I don't know if you guys have
Beautiful
ever been there
facility.
before, but I'm kind of a, believe it or not, I'm a gym guy, and it's a crazy gym. And they've also have the warehouse distribution of their nutritional products. That's pretty significant. That, if you guys remember the old paper plant where they had all that's stocked full now of nutritional supplements and that sort of thing. And they also make their own T-shirts there. They do their own screen printing and things inside of there. So it's a great facility. Pretty awesome to have here for the City of Port St. Lucie.
No, I'll be in support of this. Thank your client that, even though they might have not gotten it right the first go around, at least they're coming forward now and correcting the error but I was just like, I know that they have more than one location. I'm like, I thought this was, but then I just saw the manufacturing piece. I said, maybe this is just where they manufacture. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Any other questions?
Okay,
Nope,
thanks.
we're good, thank you. Okay, this item is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the council? Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. Council,
Motion to approve Resolution 26-R30.
Second.
is that with the condition as stated?
Yes, ma'am.
Still second.
Okay. Any final questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 11B, Resolution 26-R32.
A resolution of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, terminating a redevelopment agreement by and among the City of Port St. Lucie, the City of Port St. Lucie Community Redevelopment Agency, PSL City Center LLC, and D. Guardiola Properties Incorporated, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 26R-36.
It's actually R32, but it's okay. I have a motion and a second. 11B. Okay, it says 32 on my,
It says 32 in mine too.
Yeah, mine as well.
Sally, what's your 32
What
or
can we
36?
get?
32.
Okay, so amend my motion to approve Resolution 26-R32.
okay.
Okay, second.
My version says 36, sorry.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. 11C, Resolution 26-R33.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the issuance by the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, of not exceeding $75 million in aggregate principal amount of its City of Port St. Lucie, Florida Special Obligation Refunding and Improvement Revenue Bonds, Series 2026, to finance certain capital improvements related to the Torino Regional Park Project and to refund a portion of the city's outstanding special assessment refunding bonds, Series 2016. Southwest Annexation Special Assessment District Number 1, and a portion of the city's outstanding taxable special obligation refunding revenue bonds, Series 2017, in order to achieve debt service savings, covenanting to budget and legally available non-ad valorem revenues to pay debt service on the bonds, providing for the rights of the holders of said bonds, making certain other covenants and agreements in connection with such bonds, authorizing a negotiating sale of said bonds, delegating certain authority to the city manager for the authorization, execution, and delivery of a bond purchase agreement with respect thereto, and the approval of the terms and details of said bonds, establishing a book entry registration system for such bonds, appointing the paying agent and registrar for said bonds, authorizing the distribution of a preliminary official statement and the execution and delivery of an official statement with respect to such bonds, authorizing the execution and delivery of escrow deposit agreements and the appointment of escrow agents thereto, authorizing the execution and delivery of a continuing disclosure certificate, and providing for an effective date for this resolution.
Thank you. Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 26-R33.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 11D, Resolution 26-R34.
A resolution of the City of Port St. Lucie, Florida, authorizing the acquisition of a portion of real property described as Tract C, Port St. Lucie, Section 22, as recorded in Plat Book 13, page 28 of the Public Records of St. Lucie County, Florida, for the Southwest Parr Drive corridor roundabouts at Southwest Darwin Boulevard and Southwest Savona Boulevard project, as being a public necessity, and authorizing the city manager or his designee to take any and all appropriate actions to acquire the subject property in fee simple, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to item 13, new business. 13A, amend the federal program to incorporate additional eligible opportunity zones. Good evening, Kate.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, City Manager. Kate Parmley for the record. This is to follow up on the advocacy work that the Mayor and Council have been engaged in terms of both your state program and your federal program. So what we are asking is to review this opportunity for more opportunity zones, and I want to thank specifically the Mayor for meeting with Congressman Mast and advocating directly, and the Vice Mayor in D.C. with HUD officials. We were really honored to host Secretary Turner here in Port St. Lucie. I think it's our first cabinet official to ever visit Port St. Lucie, and he was so complimentary about the city and support for this type of approach for an opportunity zone. And just quickly, I'm just going to give a very quick overview of the opportunity. opportunity zones really will help us accelerate our work as the heart of the Treasure Coast, building on recent economic development success, such as in Southern Grove, and turning into your strategic plan where you focus on the east side, particularly the Walton and One redevelopment project. Having that 73-acre mixed-use redevelopment district located along US 1, it's the perfect site for an opportunity zone, and it's currently in your federal and state program as it's ready to activate, and you're already working on this corridor. We believe the Walton and One area has a perfect fit as it will really transform this aging commercial corridor, enhance property values, and drive economic development. And it's received extensive public engagement and local priorities. We also have currently an opportunity zone that is not really being able to be used because it's primarily in a residential area. So that's one of the reasons why you prioritize the Walton and One area, as there is tremendous investment potential. Our goal, of course, is to unlock opportunity zone capital to accelerate redevelopment in the east side of the city. And we have some emerging opportunity zone nominations. Previously, we've prioritized the Walton and One parcel. The U.S. Treasury just came out with some new maps based on the latest census data that showed that parcel is potentially ineligible. However, working with our grants team, we've analyzed the tracts, and does fall within the margin of error in terms of demographic data. So we believe we have a strong case to make that it should be considered eligible, and plus the governor's office and the Florida Department of Commerce are able to add additional criteria in making that case for it to be included as an opportunity zone. So we are recommending that it be nominated. We also recommend there's 2 eligible tracks along US 1 and along Port St. Lucie Boulevard that we also recommend that the City Council consider nominating as an opportunity zone in those priorities. You can see here we recommend first beginning with the Walton Road Walton and One parcel as the first priority, followed by the parcel along US 1, Census Tract 382010, and finally this section along Port St. Lucie Boulevard. So I can go into more. I know I'm just going to skip through this because I know mostly you have already received this information. But each of these areas helps advance different areas of your strategic plan, particularly along the US 1 corridor and Veterans Memorial, as well as the Port District. And this new section of Port St. Lucie Boulevard, of course, would also align with some redevelopment efforts near City Hall potentially moving forward. Our final recommendation is that the City Council nominate all 3 tracks and stand ready to assist our state and federal partners in obtaining this important designation.
Right, thank you so much. Any questions for Kate?
Madam Mayor, I do. So just because I know that there was, when the secretary came, there was a lot of conversation that I saw in regards to the opportunity zones. And I also believe there might have been some confusion of what the purpose of the opportunity zone is. And so looking at the Western development and all of the enterprise industry business, what is the intent as far as, I know you said the goal, but what is the purpose of us wanting to develop our opportunity zone? Is it because we have a desire to increase housing, or is it because we're trying to increase economic development, commercial businesses, et cetera, et cetera?
Absolutely. It can be utilized for housing, but definitely I think what the council priorities have been is economic potential and redevelopment potential, particularly at Walton and One. But it can be used for multiple things, especially on the east side. And Secretary Turner kind of noticed that as driving in from the west side of the city to the east side, just seeing that this was an ideal opportunity to lift the east side and being able to encourage reinvestment in some of the aging areas, particularly along US 1.
But in the particular area of Walton and One, while there is some incorporation of housing within the Walton and One Plaza, I think the predominant discussion has always been to try to bring economic partners in to help spur the job growth. Hopefully, I would hope to be a catalyst to the US 1 corridor, which to me is, a lot of the businesses. We have some that are thriving, but we do have some businesses that are dying, and there's some empty plazas. And so I wanted to hopefully see that we provide more jobs and then bring back those businesses so the corridor doesn't continue to deteriorate. And then obviously not in our boundaries, Mayor, looking at even at the county's boundaries further, the older part of US 1, where we definitely have some challenges there too with economic development. For me, I'm sure we all probably have our opinions, but for me, I definitely want to focus our opportunity zone specifically for commercial as much as possible. And I think a lot of the conversation was around housing. And I know it can be used for housing. It's a tool that can be used for housing, but for me as 1 of 5, I definitely want to focus more on the commercial aspects of the opportunity zone portion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mayor, I would mention that really a lot of the success is around stadiums throughout the country. There have been other successful opportunity zones that incorporate stadiums. So it's really about the commercial development is definitely a key factor in why this was included in your state and federal program. What we heard from the council was encouraging commercial redevelopment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what our intent has been. You know, we have the master plan for Walton and One, and we've had that for a long time now. And then, you know, as it relates to housing, I think what our council has talked about a lot is going forward, and because of the affordability issues, we've been talking about future workforce housing opportunities so that our young professional, our young tradespeople have an opportunity to be able to live on their own without having to, you know, live in a multi-generational setting, you know, or live at home with mom and dad. So,
And senior.
and senior, right? And so being able to have these opportunities is exactly what we've been looking for all along in order to redevelop our US 1 corridor and our Walton and 1 22 parcels that we have, right? So we should take this opportunity. That's why it's called Opportunity Zone. And what I loved about the conversation that Secretary Turner mentioned is that, you know, it's a way you bring all the stakeholders together. And that's exactly what we did through our master plan with Walton and One. So it completely aligns with what we're already doing and what we want to do in the future in order to make sure that we have a thriving destination point at Walton and One. So,
Absolutely.
right? Any other comments or questions? All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. City managers report.
Yes, Madam Mayor, City Council, as you know, a couple years ago, I believe you guys challenged the staff to look at our website, and you know that our website was not a really nice website. So I'm here to report that the city has been recognized as the website of the year in the National Granicus Digital Government Award. When the website was revamped in 2024, the goal was simple: make the website easy to use and helpful for everyone. The award shows how our team created an innovative, user-friendly tool to improve the communications between the staff here and also our residents. So really, kudos to our team and congratulations for this well-deserved award. Thank you.
Thank you. That is awesome. Councilwoman Morgan.
Okay, on the 15th, I attended the Fire Board meeting, and then on the 22nd, the Treasure Coast Builders Association Parade of Homes ribbon cutting. And I'll let the guy with the scissors elaborate more. They wouldn't give me the scissors. They'd heard what I did with scissors. And my report is, happy birthday, Port St. Lucie. Our city was incorporated on this date 65 years ago. Oh my goodness, I'm older than the city. You didn't hear that. What began as a small bedroom community has transformed into the 6th largest city in the state in less than 7 decades. Thank you to everyone who came out for the birthday party event last weekend. There was a great turnout. Many wonderful community partners were there, and it was a tremendous celebration for our city. And I am so sorry to have missed it. I was out of town, but from the pictures, it looked like it was beautiful weather and a great time. And I guess that's just a pre-birthday for, you know what happens Friday.
What happens Friday? Tell us.
It is Stephanie Morgan's birthday month.
That's right. Gotta say it. The birthday month begins. That's right.
Okay, April 18th, I attended the Autism Awareness, and I want to tell you, the police, Captain Kinney and his group did a fantastic job with that event. It was well attended and raised some significant awareness about autism. April 21st, Coffee with the Council. Shout out to my friends at Del Webb who presented me with a baseball cap for the Veterans Club. 25th of April, Safety Day at Met Stadium. Our police department had a wonderful, wonderful demonstration with the canines. And I was telling the city manager this morning that I was unaware that we had some of the dogs that we had. and just very impressive what those dogs do. And Saturday, I attended the city's 65th birthday, which was a nice celebration. And my announcement is 2 public sessions to be held to gather community input for the city's 10-year special events master plan. The plan will guide the future of the city's events by assessing current programming and identifying long-term needs for high-quality events and venues. The first meeting is scheduled to be held April 28th at 6 p.m. at Kaiser University, and the second is April 30th at 6 p.m. at the Saints Golf Course. Community input is essential to shaping a vision for Port St. Lucie's events over the next decade. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
On the 15th, I attended the Treasure Coast Regional League of Cities meeting. On the 22nd through the 21st, I attended the Southern Municipal Conference. I also had a family conflict, so I wasn't able to attend the birthday party, but it looks like an amazing event. And the Stewardship Awards, which I won't steal your thunder, Madam Mayor, looked fantastic, and I'm glad we were able to honor the Crosstown Running Club, and so that was a really good award to give to them, because I know they work really hard. And Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful is the first 2 tree giveaways. Takes place Saturday, May 2nd from 8 to 10 a.m. at Clover Park. Port St. Lucie residents can receive a Florida-friendly tree to plant with 700 trees available for distribution. That includes avocado trees, sugar apple trees, and a limited amount of dahoon holly. Dahoon, A-D-A-H-O-O-N. I'm just going to go with that. Holly. Trees are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, and IDs are required to prove your city residency. That's great.
Thank you. Councilwoman Bonner?
On the 14th, I spoke at the St. Lucie County Board of County Commissioners meeting regarding the new St. Lucie Woods sensory-friendly preserve, which is going to be a great resource just outside the city. On the 15th, I was a speaker at City Hall Field Trip Day. On the 16th, I went to Lightbridge Academy and read "If I Had Your Vote" by Dr. Seuss to the school children. On the 20th, or whatever day Coffee with the Council was, I crashed Councilman Pickett's Coffee with the Council, but that was because they also had some ribbon cuttings, including the Homeless Services Council there, concurrently with Coffee with the Council. Attended Bring a Kid to Work Day by the city, brought all 3 of the children. We caused minor disruptions in council chambers. We spent some time outside of the chambers, but participated as much as we could, and attended the Naturally PSL Awards and city birthday party on Saturday. And as for my announcement, thank you to everyone who came out for the Caring Community Cleanup on April 11th. Just over 300 volunteers collected 1,820 pounds of litter. That was a significant increase from last year, where there were 245 volunteers who picked up 1,700 pounds. There were some large groups, including Treasure Coast Athletic Association, which had 62 volunteers, ABC Home Medical Supply with 18, and HCA Hospital, which had 11. Thank you all for helping keep Port St. Lucie beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, so I also attended Fire Board, did speak at one of the City Hall Field Trip Days. I read to the kids at Lightbridge Academy, and the title of the book was "If I Was the Mayor." It was such a cute book. I actually have it in my office, from a child standpoint about, parks and ice cream and all that good stuff, all that fun stuff that kids like to do. The autism awareness event was really amazing to see the community come together and get all those different resources and connect with one another was really awesome. Our PSL 65th anniversary celebration, extremely well attended. The Environmental Stewardship Awards was great to be able to give out to the different groups and recognize the people in our community that are so heavily invested. I went and spoke at Vitalia and did the State of the City presentation there, and also had my Mornings with the Mayor event last week. And my announcement is 6 resident-led projects are coming to the Whispering Pines neighborhood through the 2026 Love Your Block mini grants. Neighbors, youth leaders, and local groups are teaming up to bring new energy and pride to the community. Projects include murals and refreshed public spaces to noise-reducing art screens and new bird-friendly features. Thanks to support from the Bloomberg Center for Public Innovation, Love Your Block helps residents in the city work together to strengthen the neighborhoods one block at a time. That is an amazing program. I'm so excited for what we've been able to do there in that neighborhood. I cannot wait till we're able to replicate it in other neighborhoods across the city, and to see even the artwork that is being done by the students at Treasure Coast High School is just really phenomenal. So really, really proud of that program. And that's all we have, so we are adjourned.